Los chamizos de allá están, que dicen que salen de Llorona loca. Con las piernas de allá exploran, que dicen que salen de Llorona loca. Que llora por ahí, que llora por allá, por cigarro prendido en la boca. Que llora por ahí, que llora por allá, por cigarro prendido en la boca. Que me agarra y me agarra, ay Llorona, ay Llorona, que me agarra, ay Llorona por atrás. Que me agarra y me agarra, ay Llorona, ay Llorona, que me agarra, ay Llorona por atrás. Los brazos de la bebé, dicen que salen la Llorona loca. Con las calles llenan dos lunas, dicen que salen la Llorona loca. Que llora por ahí, que llora por allá, con cigarro prendido en la boca. Que llora por ahí, que llora por allá, con cigarro prendido en la boca. Que me agarra, ay Llorona, ay Llorona, que me agarra, ay Llorona por atrás. Que me agarra, ay Llorona, ay Llorona, que me Llorona. Por el monte de allá en peso, dicen que sale la Llorona loca. Por las piernas de allá en llama, dicen que sale la Llorona. Somebody scream! María se fue a la playa, se fue a la playa, se fue a nadar. Rosa María se fue a la playa, se fue a la playa, se fue a nadar. Estaba sentadita en la arena, me decía con su boquita, nene, vamos a bailar. Estaba sentadita en la arena, me decía con su boquita, nene, vamos a bailar. Rosa María, baila mi cumbia, mamá. Rosa María, baila mi cumbia, mamá.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together one more time for the one and only 45. We got anybody from Española here this afternoon? Let me hear you out there. Anybody from Santa Fe? Anybody from Albuquerque, New Mexico? Santa Fe, Las Vegas. Anybody from Las Vegas out there? Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited as you are that football season officially starts next week. And one more time, I'm going to do this. Let me hear all them Dallas Cowboy fans out there. All right, if you don't like the Dallas Cowboys, let me hear you make some noise. Ladies and gentlemen, to an MC from the South Valley, put your hands together for the one and only Mr. Apenicio.
Thank you, my brother. Let's come up here again. I think I just delayed. It's an important day today. It's an important concert. They all are. And I have the pleasure of sitting on the board of directors of the New Mexico Music Hall of Fame. It's an honor because we get to every year put people into the Hall of Fame. And you'll be very pleased to know every year it generally always includes one or two New Mexico music bands when they go into the Hall of Fame. So that's a good thing. The other thing is that this year, out of the 9 people that are getting inducted, I'm going to give you a teaser here. 6 are female recording members. 6. That's never happened before. Girl power. Girl power. That's what I'm talking about. They're going to be very pleased. They're going to be out in a couple of weeks. The reason I bring up the Mexico Music Hall of Fame is because our headliners tonight, the homecoming of sorts. It's a homecoming of sorts. In many ways, they'll take any day they can get it out great because of the people in New Mexico, Red Beach, Chili, and they got it perfect because it's harvest season. But Max, Johnny Baca from the Texas Maniacs and Josh Baca from the Texas Maniacs are from the heart of the South Valley. They grew up there and one little nephew. The entire Baca family also are alumni of the New Mexico Music Hall of Fame for everything they've done. I'll mention a couple of things. Grammy Award winning, that's a lot out there, start. World Ambassadors, check this one out. World Ambassadors representing the United States and Conjunto Music. They travel to Moscow. They travel to Japan, they travel to Europe, they travel all over the world presenting the roots and history of Conjunto music. If that isn't an honor, I don't know what is, but it's a homecoming tonight for Max and Josh. So, as we build the show, and I walked in
and I heard Cuarenta Cinco play a country song. I said, man, these guys are full of surprises. You know, they're one of the most high energy bands I've ever seen in the state of New Mexico. There really are 4 guys, and you'd swear there was 12 people on stage sometimes, the way they play. Ernie, congratulations, man, to your group at Cuarenta Cinco. Amazing. Their history is just super. And every time I see them, man, we haven't seen Ernie and I won't see each other for a year and a half, and we walk up to each other and go, what's up? You know, it's like we see each other every week, so they're always welcome in Albuquerque in the 505 here in the Duke City. Mezcal played earlier. You know, one of the things about Mezcal that a lot of people don't realize is they have hit after hit after hit, but they're not cover songs. Ernie and his brothers are songwriters. They play an entire set of original music. And you reckon, well, by, you know, these guys have written hit after hit after hit. So whenever I see Mezcal on the bill, I said, we're in good hands. And of course, young Gabriel, who was up here earlier introducing, he is now, Robert Gonzalo just told me in the back, remember, Abe, when I joined your band, I formed Los Duques in the 90s. He went on Los Duques. And Robert was our bass player, and he was right about the same age as his 2 young guitar players' age. And he says, imagine that. How are you, my brother? Welcome. Did you get your chili fix? You got your chili fix? And he said, hey, it's a turnaround. I have the 2 young guys with me like you had me with you. And I said, give it a few more years and they're going to have young guys with them. That's the power of New Mexico ranchera music. That's the way it works here in New Mexico. Now let's talk about my brother Gonzalo and his band. This guy has put on so many shows.